Knicks postgame is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. Knicks and Hawks tonight. The Knicks with a phenomenal start. Went up 23 points in the second quarter. Here in the third, it's 71-71. Dejounte Murray had a phenomenal game. 36 points, 9 assists, 6 steals. Hawks outscore the Knicks 32-10 in the third and win by 13 after, again, at one point being down by 23. Great to have you with us from our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pito, Alan Hahn, Wally Szczerbiak. Well, the coach says, Tom Thibodeau always says, no lead is safe, and we're having more evidence of this, not only in this game, but it seems in every game these days in the NBA.
Well, that's the NBA. You've got to be able to score. You've got to be able to keep pace with a team that gets hot or a player that gets hot, right? If somebody gets hot on the other team, you've got to have somebody that can match that, especially in your own building. It's amazing how the mood changed in the building from one point to another, and it really happened on one moment. 3 minutes to go, Dejounte Murray makes a shot, then he strips Jalen Brunson, dunks the basketball, and you could just feel something changing. Even though the Knicks still had a big lead, you could just feel it start to turn. And the start of that second half, that's come out of that third quarter for Tom Thibodeau, that had to have been tough to watch.
Yeah, and you also have to kind of break down how this happened. First quarter was pretty good. Starters were solid. That's a good sign because the starters at times, they can be a little fragile when they're going up against other starting units that are high-level NBA teams like the Atlanta Hawks. The bench comes in, absolutely buildings on fire, play perfect basketball, build themselves a 23-point lead. Obi's knocking down shots, Quickly's rebounding, making plays. Derrick Rose is in his bag doing his thing. Then the starters come back in. They get outplayed to finish the second quarter.
Right.
Their job is to hold that lead. That's where the problem started. Then the third quarter, starters get blown off the floor. This is the concern, I think, with the Knicks at times. Can the starters kind of hold the fort? Because the bench is one of the best benches in the league. So when they get matched up against other benches, they're normally going to play well. You can't ask the bench to play against starters, though, because if the bench guys go up against starters, which we saw in the second half, they're going to really struggle. This Atlanta Hawks team, Dejounte Murray, what a performance. Those guys were really, really good tonight, and they completely took the game over.
Alan, Knicks bench in the first half outscored the Hawks bench, to Wally's point, 21-0. So often last year, though, we saw, to your point again, Knicks starters not closing a half well and then not starting the second half well, and that's exactly what we saw tonight.
Yeah, that's what I didn't like about what we saw, was that it was something, a flashback to last year, and that's not what you want to see. Last year's team, especially early last season, and that is, again, as the game turned, that's literally what happened, is you could just feel the momentum going away. But to start a half in your own building the way the Knicks did, and that lack of energy, that's the concern. Wally, I felt like this was, I know it's early in the season, but this felt like one of those, like, let's take the temperature game.
Yeah.
Like Milwaukee's a really good team. Cleveland at Cleveland, okay, they got hot. But this is a game and you're building against a team that you got some history with, and they've got a new player. And it's all right, let's see how you measure up against a team like the Hawks, coming off a bad loss for the Hawks. And in the first 15 minutes of this game, it felt like they were up to the task. But as it got tough, all right, let's see how you handle this. I didn't like what I saw out of the Knicks when things got tough.
It shows this Knicks team has a lot of work to do still.
Yep.
And, they have a couple new pieces. Jalen Brunson's in the lineup. He got off to a great start the first 3 home games against, some subpar teams. They took care of business. But now you're being measured against the real teams in the East. I mean, now you're starting to play those teams that have been in the Eastern Conference Finals, that have been in the playoffs the last couple years. And that's what the Knicks have to kind of learn, how to compete with those teams and how to raise their level of play. They have to raise their level of play tonight. They didn't. And they got to learn from this. They got a lot more games to come, and they got to get better really quick, because we've been saying it, the East is really good, and good teams are going to keep coming in this building, and they're going to keep coming at the Knicks every single night.
Well, the level was surely good enough first half of the first half. I mean, the Knicks went up by 23 points and had a 14-0 run in the first quarter.
No, I know. They were tremendous, and they came out ready to play. The starters were good. The ball was moving. Everyone was making plays. R.J. Barrett was attacking the basket, pretty much getting whatever he wanted. And, that's a great sign. And Tom Thibodeau talks about you have to play 48 minutes. And that's true. You have to have your guys that are capable of playing a 48-minute game and being solid the whole entire game. And, the starters, for example, they were solid in the first quarter, but they couldn't find that the whole entire game. The bench was outstanding. Hartenstein came in, knocking down shots. You know, everything was really flowing in that first half. The Knicks looked great. 14-0 run to close the first quarter. You would think that would give the Knicks confidence, Alan, going into the second quarter to close the second quarter a little stronger. But the Knicks just had no answer for Dejounte Murray, and he was the difference in this game. I mean, he was the alpha on the court.
Yep.
Trae Young got hurt. Right. There's Julius Randle out there. There's Jalen Brunson out there. There's R.J. Barrett out there. Who's the best player on the court? Not even close. Not even close. He came into your building and he said, I am the man and I am going to win this game for my team. And he did it single-handedly.
And did a lot of chirping along the way, too. I was a courtside for most of this game, and you could just see, as I told you, as the game turned, he gets the 2 points, then he strips Brunson, dunks the basketball. He looks at his bench, and he's chirping to his bench, and his bench gets riled up. Trae Young, by the way, after those 2 plays, scored 10 points in the last 3 minutes of the half to close that lead and to bring the Hawks suddenly within single digits at just 8 points. And that's when you knew, oh, it's a game now. This is quite a pickup for the Hawks. You know, this is one of those deals that people weren't surprised, but kind of surprised that the Spurs were ready to move on from Dejounte Murray. And when you knew a guy like this was available, you would think a lot of teams want to be in on getting a guy like this.
He's only 26.
The Hawks jumped all over it.
Him?
Well, because they've got obvious things that they want to do there, which is rebuild the franchise. They don't want to have to pay a young player like this who's due to make a lot of money. And he certainly looks like a guy that's well worth it. They've got to figure out how to play together, and they will. But here's the play I'm talking about. He strips Brunson, dunks the basketball, and he lets everybody know that this is now, like this game that you all thought was going to be a blowout, there's going to be a party here at the Garden at our expense, it's a game. Be ready for it. And as Wally said, what we were waiting for is which Knicks player was going to say, okay, I see your energy. I'm matching that energy. I'm bringing it to you. There wasn't a Knicks player tonight that could do that.
Murray with the 36, 18 in that second quarter. That was so important to get them going when they looked like they were going to get blown off the court. And then the third quarter, Knicks, as you said, they come out of the third quarter and they were able to hang in there a little bit, but
that was a problem last
year.
year.
They were stunned.
Third quarter.
They were stunned. The Knicks were stunned.
The Knicks in the third quarter had 10 points and 10 turnovers
for the whole quarter.
Right.
They were
points.
stunned. I mean, they took a hard left hook and they were completely on their heels. They were completely stunned. Their offense had no movement. They had no flow. They didn't know where to go to get a basket. They were going one-on-one again, and the momentum completely shifted in that second quarter.
Let's also point out Nate McMillan did it again.
Yeah.
Slap the zone.
Yes.
And see if you can beat it.
Yes.
And that's Nate has done that. We saw this in the playoffs 2 years ago. Every time they play this team, Nate just keeps looking at this Knicks roster. He goes, zone it.
Yep.
Zone it and beat us with a three.
And they do the zone at the right time.
Right.
When the Knicks have no confidence to shoot the three-pointer and to make a shot. If he wasn't slapping the zone on the Knicks at the beginning of the second quarter and in the first quarter, because the Knicks would have lit it up. But then when the momentum completely shifted, then you slap the zone on the Knicks. Then they start second-guessing the threes that they're taking and start missing.
Right.
That's good coaching.
And there were
by
a couple
Nate
of
McMillan.
times late, Obi had 2 corner threes. This was still a 10-point game. Obi had 2 corner threes on the same possession. He missed both of them. That could have cut it to 7. Now maybe the building gets going. You might have a chance to still win this game. He misses both of them, and in a blink, in 90 seconds, it went to a 15-point lead. It was unbelievable how fast
It's
that
amazing
turned.
how, as we started the segment, back and forth so quickly. You blink, it's a 10-point
But the most important
situation.
thing to point out is the Knicks offensively still got the shots they wanted to get. They didn't make them.